Om Asato Ma Sargamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. So now we are going to read something from Swami Vivekananda's Karma Yoga. Maybe many of you would have gone through it. So I will not read the entire book, just some main points we will take from and discuss. So what Swamiji says is, our karma, why I have selected Swamiji's works is that he is the Rishi for our age. The Nutan Yugavatar has made him the Yugacharya. So whatever he will say is best suited for us who believe in the Ramakrishna tradition. Okay. So what Swamiji says is, first point, our karma determines what we deserve and what we can assimilate. Like there are many things which can come to me, but if I am not a proper person to receive it, it will go away from me. There is a very interesting story told that once Shiva and Parvati were sitting on a mountain. Maybe they had come for a walk here, and so, and then Parvati saw a beggar, and and she took pity on that beggar. Luckily, we have the motherhood of God, so always she is merciful. And then she said, "Oh, poor one, she's suffering. He's suffering so much. I want to give him some wealth so that he will come out of his suffering." Then Shiva said, "My dear, please don't try. You know, husbands are more rational than the wives." So he said that you can't help him. It's his karma to suffer. So how can you help him? But mother won't listen as wives don't listen. And then she said that, okay, I will put a bag of gold coins on his path. So he will walk that way and he will just see that bag and he will take it and he'll become a rich person. That was mother's plan. A very good plan, foolproof plan, and well executed also. I don't know whether she did it or one of those Bhutaganas did it. And finally what happened was the beggar was, and the beggar shouldn't see the Gana, no? Otherwise he'll get scared. Bhutaganas are not very friendly to look at. And so he was walking that way, and the moment he will just turn the bend and he will see that bag. That's the plan. Then suddenly a thought came to him, how will it be, how interesting it will be to walk blindfolded. Oh, so he closed his eyes and he walked past that bag. So even, you know, if your karma is so strong, God cannot help you even if he wants to. He is trying to help you, but you are not able to take it. Now again, divine grace is something different. This is just an example to show how powerful karma can be. So generally we feel that why isn't God helping this person? Because he can't take it at that moment. But then of course God is always watching over you and he will pull you out. That's different. For devotee's sake, it's different. So work for work's sake. If a man works without any selfish motive in view, does he not gain anything? Generally, people think that only fools will work unselfishly. If I am an intelligent or a clever person, I won't say use the word intelligent. If I am a clever person, I will arrange everything properly and I will go to the extent of kicking and pushing others down, and I will try to get my goal, which I think will benefit me. Swamiji says, but if a person works unselfishly, he gains the highest. Unselfishness is more paying. Only people have not the patience to practice it. You know, finally, only truth will shine. It's our motto, even Satyameva Jayate. You can get temporary gains, but it won't last. Even suppose if a person lies a lot and tries to grab things, or if that person is of a very pleasing nature, not in the good sense, like he will try to, or she will try to please you and then get things out of you. So once or twice people are cheated, yes, especially devotees are prone to soft targets But then, because Thakur said, if you're a devotee, you can't be a fool. So that's a wrong calculation with Ramakrishna devotees. But even otherwise, people can be cheated once or twice. But the third time, they will know that this person is of this character. He has come with this ulterior motive. So steer clear out of it. So even in the material world, people are looking for good people. I don't know about the account section, but then this is the general trend. All outgoing energy following a selfish motive is frittered away. It will not cause power to return to you, but if restrained, it will result in development of power. The self control will tend to produce a mighty will. You know, this is a very big comment. Very easy to get angry, very easy to let yourself slip off. Okay, all your energy, even from the health point of view. If you're always angry, then your BP goes up. Okay, or your people, doctors, they are advising patients to practice meditation, to do yoga, even for health benefits. So what Swamiji says is, if you express your any emotion, it becomes weak. But if you don't express your emotion, that doesn't mean that I am not going to show my love and affection to you. If a child comes and embraces you, will say, go away. If I show my love to you, my emotion will go off. It's not like that. But if you can control yourself, then you are going to have a tremendous will. I have heard from my senior Matajis, they will always tell me that if you say that I will do this, then at any cost you have to do that. Otherwise, your will is going to become weakened. Rather, don't take that thing or say that I will try to do that. So once I say that, I'll go to see the beautiful connection in Thakur's life. If Thakur says, I will eat or I'll go there, he will not stop without doing that. That's because he's showing us that we shouldn't weaken our resolve. And then we have not the patience to look beyond and thus become immoral and wicked. This is our weakness, our powerlessness. So, only if we are weak, we tend to do immoral things. So, strong people, they can control themselves, they add power to themselves. If you wish to help a man, never think what that man's attitude to be towards you. If you want to do great or good work, do not trouble to think what the result will be. So it's a very tricky statement. Don't bother about what that person thinks of you. Does that mean I am ready to be cheated? Because some cheater comes to me and I can fully find out that that person is about to cheat me or to take advantage of me. So should I sit there and say, yes, please come and cheat me? Not, it's not that way. You should use your reason, but see, you should try to adjust to circumstances. When Bhairavi Brahmani came, she used to, like this Jalburi, she used to cook very spicy food. And all used to, but some were outspoken and they said, Lakshmi Didi, of course, because she was the companion of Holy Mother. She said, Ma, it's very, very, very spicy. And Holy Mother will just wipe off her tears and say, no, it's okay. And Bhairavi Brahmani said, I will not give you, I will give only my daughter-in-law. So that's how we should adjust to circumstances where adjustable circumstances can be adjusted to, but you should not let yourselves be exploited upon. Swamiji says, Dav or fire nahi chao, thake jodi hridaye shambar. Now, finally, the thing is, everything is Brahman, but then Bag Narayan also we have to be careful. We shouldn't go inside that tiger's stomach. Good for tiger, not good for us. The ideal man is he who, in the midst of the greatest silence and solitude, finds the intensest activity. These are oft quoted quotations of Swamiji. And in the midst of the intensest activity, finds the silence and solitude of the desert. I will just quote Mataji, who founded this center. Intense solitude, and what an activity, the loftiest activity. And to quote Swamiji again, he was taking a class and he was showing how to meditate. And he plunged into the deepest meditation in the busiest streets of London. So, this is how you can keep your balance. And the Karma Yogi is the man who understands that the highest ideal is non resistance, ahimsa, and who also knows that this non resistance is the highest manifestation of power in actual possession. And also, what is called the resisting of evil is but a step on the way towards the manifestation of this highest power, namely non resistance. To put things uh, easily, before reaching the highest ideal of ahimsa, one should resist evil. Like Swamiji has repeatedly said, it's not, you can't say, I will show ahimsa if you don't have the power. The example is Siddhartha. When Siddhartha went to marry Gautami, and Gautami liked Siddhartha, but her parents, they were okay with this prince. But then there was a general complaint from everybody that he is not a fit person. He's not a fit person to be a prince because he never fights. He always propagates ahimsa. And so, how can such a person protect his kingdom if some external enemy comes? So, that was the objection which they had given. And all the princes, because Gautami naturally she was very beautiful, and many chieftains had come, and Siddhartha defeated each and every one in every like say archery or some throwing or some sword fighting, everything he won. Then alone you can say, I will not fight. Ahimsa is the best thing. But still that for the ordinary man, he should resist evil. Let him work, let him fight, let him strike straight from the shoulder. Then only when he has gained the power to resist will non-resistance be a virtue. Otherwise, it's not going to be the virtue, it's going to be the greatest defect of that particular person.
Can I say one small thing?
Yes.
Like Buddha, when he went and Angulimal attacked him. So he had the power that when he did not resist, he could convert the person.
Yes.
But we do not have that power yet.
Yes. Actually, what Swamiji also says again, baby is sleeping in the room and a thief enters. It won't know that that's a thief. Actually, if you believe in the inherent divinity of all people, even that poison loses its poison. That's the way it is. But for us who are yet to climb those stairs, it's better to protect ourselves. So these ideas are only for the highest, the greatest, and for us in future when we will become the highest and greatest, hopefully. So every man should take up his own ideal and endeavor to accomplish it. That's a surer way of progress than taking up other men's ideals, which he can never hope to accomplish. Like Swamiji gives a very beautiful example. You take a child and ask him to walk for 20 miles. The child will either die or it will be exhausted. So don't try to imitate others' works, which we saw in the morning also. That's why he forced Arjuna to fight. It's not your duty to be a mendicant. The apple tree should not be judged by the standard of the oak, nor the oak by that of the apple. Everyone must be judged by their own standards. Never compare anybody, like especially children. If somebody is very good in sports and he's not so good in studies, but if another child is good in studies, often we compare and then say, look at this person, how good he is, like that. So why should we have our preconceived standards? See, each and every tree, every flower is different. It has its own unique place in this universe. The Creator, when He sends someone, He blesses them. He doesn't send us, empty-handed. So everyone has their own innate beauty, their own innate capacity. Only thing is we have to find that out and try to encourage them in that. And then Scriptures and books on ethics have laid different rules for different classes of men, the householder, the sannyasin, and the student. And he says a very, very beautiful story. It's my favorite story. Actually, Swamiji was very popular from his childhood. He used to narrate wonderful stories. I'm so happy that Thakur and Swamiji, both of them, they are very good storytellers. So we have heard many new stories and very enjoyable stories. This is the story of the king who was asking the question, who is great, a householder or a sannyasi? And if somebody comes and says, have you heard this story? If many have heard, then I will make it short. Otherwise, you have it.
Everybody is great in his own place.
Yes, everybody is, each is great in his own place, but the duty of one is not the duty of the other. So this king, he used to catch hold of, declared some prizes or whatever, rewards. And so people would come and he will ask them, who is great? Prove it to me. And if a householder comes and says, I think he didn't have that citizenship problem. So, and he was less of people. So anybody who came in, he would make them marry and settle down there. And for monks also, if someone came and he couldn't prove his point, then he will make him marry and he will make them settle down there. And one day a young sannyasin came and he said, see, I don't believe in giving you theoretical things. Come, let me give you a practical demonstration. And there was a procession going on. Another princess, she was having a swayamvara and she liked, let us call this king and sadhu A. And another B sannyasi was there, a young, beautiful, talented sannyasi, and he was watching the procession. And this princess, she left everyone else. Always opposites attract, no? So somehow she managed to like that B sannyasi. So she put that varamala, and that sadhu got literally fired up, and he just walked away. And then this princess also decided, Sati hai, so I will marry only him. And she followed, and the sadhu A said, come, let's follow this princess. Then they all entered the jungle and they got lost and they were shivering. And the pigeon family, the father pigeon, brought some firewood, and mother pigeon, father pigeon, mother pigeon, the child fledglings, all of them jumped into the fire to provide food for these three. And of course, they didn't take. And in the morning, when the daylight came, the Sadhu and the king, they put that princess there. Whole night, maybe they would have given her instructions. Don't waste your time with sadhus. Go and marry and settle down. Or maybe they would have said, follow the spiritual path and lead her. We don't know what happened there. So then, this is what was proved by the sadhu. So you cannot imitate another person's duty when you are in your particular position. Once you have completed, this is the beauty of Hinduism, that once you have completed your duties, then you can come to the final ashrama. And Mother has assured Ramakrishna devotees that Ramakrishna devotees will renounce in mind, antar sannyas. So every one of us, if we want, we can take antar sannyas. This is a very beautiful chapter. It's my favorite chapter.
You were saying that the pigeons did their duty.
Yes, they did their duty.
They were great in their own way.
As householders, it was their duty to take care of anyone who came in their protection. That's what the story means. The duty of the householder is to take care of those who come, Yatiti Devo Bhava, and other things. Selfless, to be selfless. They were selfless, so they got their emancipation. And as for the sadhu, he also proved that for a renunciate, all these things shouldn't have any value. Otherwise, he could have easily married and then settled down as a king. And again, Swamiji says that helping others physically by removing their physical needs is indeed great. This is another specialty of Swamiji. He has insisted on Annadana, then Vidyadana, but he has also said Jnanadana. All these things are happening in all Ramakrishna movement centers. Even outside centers, non-affiliated centers, even they are following this pattern. So a person who will enter the order will get everything, right from food, then help to education, medical aid, and then, of course, the Vedanta, highest thoughts of Vedanta which have been in secret, that Swamiji has given us. The miseries of the world cannot be cured by physical help only. The only solution of this problem is to make mankind pure. The misery of man will still continue to exist until man's character changes. Then, a very dynamic statement, all work is by nature composed of good and evil. We cannot do any work which will not do some good somewhere. There cannot be any work which will not cause some harm somewhere. Every work must necessarily be a mixture of good and evil. So once I read that there was a flood, and naturally people's houses were washed off, and they had to suffer a lot because of cold, and they had to shift themselves to some government buildings and depend upon that airdrop, whatever relief materials. So they did suffer. But the next year, they had the best harvest because the flood had brought so much of fertile soil. So, how will you judge this? And what about our smartphone? I cannot find anything else. A better example. Either you get addicted to it and get a glasses, but I got my spectacles because I'm quite old. I didn't watch so much of mobile. But then again, we are hearing so many good lectures and even going to foreign lands by using this. So you can never say which is good or which is bad. So what am I supposed to do? As the tortoise tucks its feet and head inside the shell, resolve is what that counts. I will not put out my hands and feet and my precious head once I tuck it in. So I should control my inner forces, my sense organs, the nerve centers. Thus alone will character be established. Then alone a man gets to truth. Such a man is safe forever. He cannot do any evil. We were seeing the tendency of karma pulls us down, drags us into a whirlpool. But you have to go on doing good work so that you become very strong, deep rooted. Then there is a still higher state than having this good tendency, and that is the desire for liberation, mumukshatva. So, what's the point of me just being good? That's not going to take me anywhere. It's just my first step. Morality and ethics are just the first step. But the second step is that mumukshatva. Liberation means entire freedom. Freedom from the bondage of good as well as from the bondage of evil. Okay, how can this be done? How can this be done? We are attached to, the Swamiji says, we are seeing hundreds of people. Maybe you go inside a new metro has come in Calcutta, beneath the Ganga river, and 20,000 people are going there. So you can just go there and stand, and you will be seeing 20,000 faces and so many things, but you are not going to remember anything. But suppose if you find Navina there, then you'll say, oh, hi Navina, how are you? I'm so happy to see you. So only those things we remember, to which we are attracted to, are attached to. So now this thing should be controlled. And what Thakur says is, he gives us a very easy way. Okay, don't try to control and other things. You know, you have suffered for years. Just turn its direction. So that's what happens when a teacher was teaching his student, and this poor student, he wasn't able to meditate. Why he couldn't meditate? Because he said, no, I can't meditate. I'm trying to. I'm struggling with my mind to meditate, but still I have not succeeded in meditating. Then the teacher asked, okay, when you are meditating, what do you think of? Because we all know, we will think whatever we like when we are just either you're going to go depressed or you are going to think of good things, whatever has impressed us a lot. Then he said, I am thinking of my buffalo, which I have left in my farm, because I loved that buffalo very much. From when it was born, I have been trying to oil its horns, and it will never come and pierce me like that and all. Then the teacher said, meditate on that buffalo. So 2 days passed and the student is not coming out And the teacher went to find out what happened to him. Then he said, I'm not able to come out. Why? Because my horns are stuck in the door. So he has thought of that buffalo so much that he has become identified with that buffalo. So what we have to do is, the same thing Thakur said, that a particular lady, she was very attached to her grandchild. Then Thakur is telling, think of him as Gopala. And she has progressed a lot. So what we have to do is divinize our relationships. So let us be unattached, let things work, but let not a ripple conquer the mind. Work as if you were a stranger in this land. That's the truth, We are a sojourner. When Swamiji sang this song to Thakur, Mano chalo nijo niketane, Shangshar videshe videshir veshe, Bromo kano akarani. So why are you roaming around in this world? This world, as for Hindu Shastras, they have repeatedly said that this world is our guest house. We are traveling. We have taken a very big, like I took a journey that took 2 days, like that. We are passing many stations, but I am also passing many births. But then this is my guest house. Sometimes I have very good guest house with plenty of light, plenty of water. Sometimes I get into a very messy place, but then I move on. That's the beauty of life. So keep moving on. Don't just get stuck in this world. This world is not our habitation. So you should work like a master and not as a slave. Selfish work is slave's work. And here is a test. Every act of love brings happiness. If any work doesn't bring you happiness, that means it's not a good work. Say for example, I can say that a child fell ill and the mother is taking care of that sick child. Is it a very comfortable way? Like, I can sit in my chair, read a book, and or rather browse the mobile. That's more a pleasant thing, rather than taking care of my child, keeping awake the entire night, feeding it medicines, her medicines, like that. But then what happens at the end of the when the child becomes well, the mother's happy. So apparently that work is troublesome, it's tiring, but you get joy out of it. So any unselfish work will give you joy. If it brings you pain, it cannot be love. That's what Swamiji says. And then he gives an example of the mother and God. God is unattached because he loves. That real love makes us unattached. We will not like to possess that particular person or possess that particular child. I know of a mother whose children are working outside, and then she truly misses them. But then she said, I'm happy, they are happy. So this is what happens. But if I am possessive, I will try to catch hold of that person, make that person sit in front of me. What that means, I'm converting that person into a slave, and I am also a slave. I am a slave to my emotions. And that person is poor thing, he is a slave of me, and there's no way of escape. So, if working like slaves results in selfishness and attachment, working as master of our own mind gives rise to the bliss of non-attachment. There is a joy of being non-attached. Just try and see. All thought of obtaining return for the work we do hinders our spiritual progress. Nay, in the end, it brings misery. This is explained very beautifully in the Chandi. In Chandi, the Chandi opens with a king and a merchant. I personally feel the king was much better off because he just lost his kingdom and wealth. But what about the merchant's state of affairs? His own relatives, not relatives, his wife, his children, they just threw him out. That's the money. That's a very, very pitiable thing. So, but there it says that, see this, then the Rishi is telling him, the entire world is moving on in an expectation. Parents are bringing up their children thinking that this particular person will be of help to me. So is it truly so? But the birds, even though they are hungry, they are bringing paddy grains and feeding the little ones. Is it truly a spirit of service, or is it bondage? Is it attachment? So that will only bring you pain. Attachment will bring you pain. And then you should remember that the same ideals and activities do not prevail in all societies and countries. Our ignorance of this is the main cause of much of the hatred of one nation towards another. Why do I hate another person? Why is it that some people come in my good books and others in my bad books? Okay, Swamiji says he went to America and he was looking at that World's Fair and he had the turban. Much later, he used to wear the robe of the ochre robe in platforms and he adopted to the Western style of clothing. But previously, he used to wear whatever he was provided with and he had that flowing turban. Later, the turban became the center of attraction, but in this particular case, a person stepped on his turban. Like he pulled it and he wanted Swamiji to stumble down and fall. And Swamiji just turned back and said, "What are you doing?" And that person was taken aback. Swamiji says he was a very polished gentleman. And he said that, "Why are you wearing this strange dress?" So he might have been a very good person, but the moment he sees something which doesn't fit his category, immediately he dared to even tease that person. This another example we can see in Alasinga Perumal. Josephine MacLeod, she has helped a lot, and once she saw him wearing the marks, religious marks, and she just commented. She just found it very funny and said that, "Swamiji, why is he wearing those marks?" And immediately Swamiji said, "What have you done? Hands off." Then much later she could find out that if he and his family hadn't starved or collected money, she wouldn't have got Swamiji in the West. And then he apologized a lot. So what happens is we have some preconceived notions and we want to put people in that particular slot, and if they differ, immediately we are reacting to that. And it's okay if we react a little bit, but when that crosses the danger limit, then we are becoming fanatics. So we should remember that we should try to see the duty of others through their own eyes and never judge the customs of other people by our own standards. And another thing, all want to lead. Everyone likes to lead, okay? But Swamiji says, first do your work properly, then higher duties will come to you. No man can long occupy satisfactorily a position for which he is not fit. You can somehow grab a position, but you can't hold on to it because people are going to kick you out of it. Even if that's what happened. Again and again, we should show examples from the Mahabharata. Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana pleased his father and somehow took the throne, but he couldn't hold it. It was just grabbed away again from him. He who does the lower work is not therefore a lower man. No man is to be judged by the mere nature of his duties, but in the manner and spirit in which he does it. And the greatest work is done only when there is no selfish motive to prompt it. Even society is designed like that. Individuals, they tend to be selfish. My family, my people. And what the scriptures say, anybody who comes there is your relative. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Try to do a little bit. So earlier people used to give alpanas. So ants will come and eat. I can't eat everything. I can't enjoy everything fully, 100%. That's again money that's stopped there by the rules of the society. Why? Because you have to limit your selfishness. It's not possible for the society, for the ordinary man to become unselfish in one step. But I have to limit my selfishness. I have to give others. Holy Mother says this, nature will force you to give. So give willingly. Otherwise, when it will be taken away from you, you are going to suffer. But you cannot have it, I remember a lady, she was talking to her music teacher. She said that I have nobody, I have some 200 saris, what will happen to them when I will die? Okay. Then the teacher said, you yourself will not be there. So what will happen to yourself? That's not your vibration. So this is how Mahamaya keeps us engaged. Duty is seldom sweet. It's only when love greases its wheels that it runs smoothly. And love is shown as forbearance. This we saw in the life of Holy Mother also. And again, no duty is low. This is what the Karma Yoga says. There's nothing which is secular, nothing which is bad. And that's another story of Dharma Vyada, the butcher, and that sadhu, again sadhu. All the lessons you see are taught to sadhus. So because I think they will grasp the principle. So this sadhu, he was meditating for long, and poor crane, it perched on the top of the branch under which the sadhu was meditating, and it did its early morning call. And we don't know whether it's early morning or afternoon. I will take it for granted that it was early morning time. And immediately he got very annoyed. Maybe there wasn't much water around there, or it was too cold for him to go and take a bath. So he glanced at it angrily, and that crane was burnt into ashes. Then again he went, it was afternoon time, he went for alms, and that wife was serving that husband, and he was standing outside. And she said, wait, and she didn't bother to look at that person. Maybe if she had said, please wait a bit, I'm coming after serving him, then he would not have been so angry. But then hunger, is another reason why people get angry. If you are hungry, you are angry. Okay, most of the times. And then he was thinking, you don't know my powers. I just recently I had burnt that crane into ashes. And then that lady immediately answered, I am not that crane, please wait, let me come. Now this person was dumbstruck. How can this lady know? If another rishi came and told, I know what you're doing, then it's acceptable. Okay, one rishi is finding out, rishis, sages have these powers to read your mind. Thakur has said, don't practice it, so I don't know. But generally, people know. So this lady, how come she knows? And then this lady came and said, I am too busy to give you instructions, go to that butcher. And after he heard the words of the butcher, the sadhu said, why are you in this work? Why are you in that body with such knowledge of yours? You are in a Vyada's body and doing such filthy, ugly work. Always dealing with blood and muscles and skin and whatnot. My son, replied the Vyada, no duty is ugly, no duty is impure. We should stop this attitude of ours. I remember Amalpana Mataji telling me once, she was in the West, and when she was using a washroom, and she found a lady cleaning who was a sweeper, and she had just then finished cleaning wash basin and other places. And when Mataji entered, she was telling Mataji, like, look how beautiful it looks. And Mataji told me, I was so impressed by her attitude, the way she's taking her menial work, that scavenger work, which we turn our noses up. But that's the way she did, and Mataji was telling that's the spirit. To take all the works, like how much can I do? To what perfection can I take my work to? This is very, very important. Karma yoga is very important for modern age, because we tend to, what do you say, take advantage of the system in which I work in, and I don't want to return anything to it. And it's literally money eating our vitals. Each and every work, if you go there, you will either find corruption, or that person is not there, he's not doing his work, he's whiling away his time, and then he will ask you for money. If you don't give money, that work is not going to be done. But this thing will change if you have this karma yoga. I will do any work which is given to me with love, with dedication, with perfection. When you are doing any work, do not think of anything beyond. Don't look at the results. Just keep your means. Whatever you're doing, like for example, I'm cooking a dish. I will see to it that the vegetables are very cleanly cut, cleanly washed, nicely cut, then cooked well, then all the salt, the main ingredient, it's put properly. So that's where my concentration should be. I shouldn't just think, oh, how people will like this when they will come. If I think like that, then I'll put double salt, and what will happen will happen. So the thing is, if you concentrate on your means, the end result will always be 100% successful. That's a very good thing. So it's the worker who is attached to results that grumbles about the nature of the duty. मेरी नसीब है ये सा आ गया, ओके उसके पास कितना अच्छा काम है, he is getting all the cream, and what can I do? So if you are like this, you are doomed, that's all. But if you can just make a start from there, I have seen many people. One person, he is in charge of a press, he told me that, Mataji, I started from the scratch. I know every worker they respect me because I have gone through that ladder. So this is how you elevate yourself. It's not like, say, position or circumstances or opportunities, they come to you, okay. But a persevering person, he makes his opportunities, he makes his steps, he will not stop before reaching his success.
Vivekananda told us once that you should be always alert. Whatever work you're doing, you should be alert and give your best, 100% concentration.
Yes. Okay, then Swamiji says, suppose a woman is very miserable, she's weeping, and somebody else comes and says some consoling words. Then immediately she feels better. So, this is the power of words. We have already discussed the power of words. So, there is a great force in what we say, in how we act.